Let me go across to two of our colleagues as well. Shweta Punj is joining us from Money Control. Sonal Butra is joining us from CNBC TV 18. Sonal, let me start with you first. Markets so far very flat. Looks like both the Sensex and the Nifty are, less than 0.1% down. What's your read on what's going on with the markets?
Very flat right now on the headline index, but if you go underneath, there's big carnage that we're seeing across major sectors. If I talk about sectoral movers, only two of them, that's pharma and autos, they are matching reasonably right now. Big cuts across the board. The mid cap and the small cap are down 7%. Metals, that has been one talking point for the last couple of weeks, and there's a big crash across commodities. Be it copper, be it silver, gold. In fact, silver and gold is down 30% over the weekend, and that crash continues as well. And related stocks, the likes of MCX, which trades in commodities, you have the metals index, which is the top loser right now. So underneath, there has been a lot of fall that we are seeing across sectors. Of course, we are watching out for the budget, and since last budget.
All right, Sonal, thanks for that. That's a check-in on the markets from CNBC TV 18. Shweta Punj of Money Control is also joining us. Shweta, in terms of the elbow room that the finance minister has, last time she addressed the income tax question, then you had the rate rationalization of GST that happened in September. How much elbow room does she have for further relief for India's middle class? So you think the focus of this budget is going to be on something else? It's about the global uncertainties, the tariffs, what can importers and exporters get in terms of relief? What is going to be the focus of this year's budget?
Zaka, so we were discussing this earlier as well in the newsroom, that every budget cannot be a consumption-focused budget. There has been a lot that's been done to boost consumption. As you mentioned, we've seen income tax rate cuts, we've seen GST rationalization and so on. This budget will be, or has to be rather, about presenting a medium-term vision for India. We saw some of that in the economic survey as well, where the CA has, specifically mentioned the areas and sectors that India needs to build upon to build its manufacturing capabilities. He speaks about deploying economic statecraft to become indispensable to the world. So I think that's what we're going to see being taken forward in this budget. In fact, yesterday we reported on a story that the Part B of the budget would be very, very forward-looking and represent a vision for India. And I think that's exactly what everyone's really looking for. We are seeing markets that are looking very volatile at this point. That's because at the moment, considering the geopolitical uncertainty, what's really needed is a direction. We've been behind the curve where AI and innovation is concerned. So that could be another focus area in this budget. We could see a lot of work around custom duties. That's something that's been initiated with a lot of FTAs that have been signed, but that's happening in piecemeal measures at the moment.
Okay.
We should see a more consolidated push towards that.
I also want to go across to CNBC TV 18 Managing Editor Shireen Bhan. She's joining us from the CII studios. What's industry's expectation, Shireen, this time from the Finance Minister?
Well, Zaka, good morning. And it is a super Sunday here as we decode the budget for you. But I think industry is going in with measured expectations. The hope is that there should be continuity. There should be no negative surprises, that the reform agenda that's been set by the government were to continue. CapEx, 14 lakh crore rupees, that's the CapEx number that industry is hoping for. That is certainly something that we're going to be watching out for, because remember, the heavy lifting has been done by the government when it comes to CapEx spending. Defense, watch out for that. Unequal vocal consensus that this is a post-Operation Sindoor budget, and hence defense sector allocation is going to go up significantly. Will it be 10, 15%, or even as high as 20%, or even 20% plus? That's the big question. But most people that we've spoken to are going with a 15 to 20% higher allocation as far as defense is concerned. More schemes to boost R&D investment, to incentivize R&D and innovation. We already had the RDIF fund announcement, so that is still being operationalized. I'm not sure whether we're going to see anything specific on that front, but I think the larger vision on AI, the AI infrastructure build-out, etc., is certainly going to be something that the finance minister may allude to in her speech, which probably is likely to be longer than usual, because we're told that Part B is going to get special focus and special attention. Another aspect that we should look at, and this is my hunch, but if I look at the last two economic surveys, there has been a convergence between what the survey has prescribed or suggested or recommended and what the government has done in the budget. Now, the survey is talking about disinvestment, reviving disinvestment, in fact, going as far as to say that public sector companies should in fact look at bringing down the government holding to 26% while retaining control. Now, will there be a revival of the government's disinvestment program? It's been dead quite virtually for the last several years. That's my hunch. I don't know. They are faced with a tax shortfall. Non-tax revenue mobilization is going to be crucial. So that is going to be something to watch out for as well. And finally, I think India's impetus to be a part of global supply chains, India's impetus to draw in FDI and FII, there's a lot of chatter that the government may do something to draw in both foreign portfolio investors and FDI. Nilesh Shah, speaking to us just a short while ago, said he would like a Digi Yatra, frictionless entry for foreign investors as well as for domestic investors. So could we see some announcements on taxation as far as foreign flows are concerned? Given where the rupee is, we will have to wait to see. But that's kind of the mix that industry is going into Budget 2026 with.
All right, Shireen, Shweta and Sonal, thank you very much for joining us on our Budget Day coverage.